Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? I hope that you're doing good on this beautiful Wednesday. For those of you all that come into the room or look at the video, please like, share, and subscribe the video. I want you all to know I really appreciate you all for viewing the video. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please become a subscriber. Also, if you are not a member, please become a member where you can get some exclusive information, okay, that I share with my members. And there are several different packages with that. Today, I wanted to get on briefly to talk about pre. And I kind of wanted to put some pictures and things of that nature up, um, you hear a lot of different stuff in the atmosphere about pre-artists, right? And each and everybody is, um, I get they're entitled to their own opinions, just like I am, and I'm very much supportive of pre. I think about Key Glock, and Key Glock is the exact same age as my oldest daughter, and I could see the hurt in Key Glock, and as well as the rest of them. I was looking at some of the old videos from that they did right before Dolph was taken out, and those guys really admired Dolph. They really admired him. I was looking at a video that Snoop Bandz and an interview that Snoop Bandz and Paper Route Wu did on a YouTube show that's very popular right before Dolph was taken out, and they was talking about how he never slept. They was like, we've been knowing him way before this, and he's always been on his grind. He's just really smart, and he has taught being around him. You can't do anything but learn. Like they just talked about how he was pretty much like a genius to them, you know. Um, I think about Key Glock, and I understand. I understand the mentality, of some of our people, and that's just how I feel. When someone, I think, for those that truly care about Dolph, you know, or they probably, how sometimes when people put stuff into the atmosphere, they go, well, nobody could ever take my Dolph's place, and I don't really think that Key Glock, just from what I see, I don't think he's trying to take Dolph's place. I think he's trying to allow Dolph's legacy to live on, because even in looking in some of his concerts, you know, when Dolph's music is playing, Key Glock can barely hold his head up. That young man is definitely hurting about um, what has happened to Dolph. Um, is definitely hurting about what has happened to Dolph, and so me knowing that they had nothing to do with the demise of Dolph. You think about what people say, well, because you hear some of the people around that area, they go, well, I'm talking about in Memphis, around that area that know these people. They go, some of his artists may have been, going back and forth with other artists, but even still, artists go back and forth all the time. It gives nobody the right to take you out. I think they kind of reference that situation with Little Migos. The Key Glock and Little Migos was going back and forth with each other. Key Glock and Little Migos went to school together. And I think it's unfortunate when, because Little Migos signed with another record label, it appears to me that anybody that is signed with CMG has to go against Pre. That's how it seems to me. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about Little Migos, but that's just how it appears. I could be wrong, but that's how it appears. But people go back and forth all the time, and I'm not saying that Little Migos had anything to do with this. I know that he's Black Youngsters artist, and they're all up under the umbrella, really, of CMG. Um, Even with them going back and forth, it gives nobody the right to plan a demise. There was a lot of jealousy going on as it relates to these young men, and that's why I'm supporting them until the wheels fall off. People was jealous because Dolph, like they said, was teaching them the independent game. They were saying that you pretty much, in that interview, I think it was with Wicked Films with Snoop Bandz, and it was talking about how they get money. you work harder, but the payoff is a lot different as far as when you start reaping the benefits of your hard work, how you get the majority of what you worked hard for. And that's what Dolph was teaching them, you know. So I think it's a sad thing. If nothing else, I hope in the future when other record labels come up, but you didn't really see, because you think about No Limit and Cash Money Records. They were both in New Orleans, and you heard people say all the time that they may not have necessarily cared for each other, but their artists did not beef at all. They didn't do a whole lot of beef, and even if they didn't mess with each other, and I don't think they were forced to choose sides, because you hear a lot of them say, "Oh yeah, we cool with each other." You know what I mean? We're cool, even if Baby and Master P didn't see eye to eye. It they did not appear to make their artists choose, you know. And the reason I say that is because I keep referencing when I looked at Big 30, and I like Big 30 because I look at Big 30 and I see he's on a downward spiral. Big 30 has a smile. When he smiles, it kind of lights up a room. You could tell that young man got some praying warriors around him. But when Big 30 came out and he said, "Rest in peace to Dolph," a lot of people said they don't think it was genuine, but I kind of think at that point it was genuine, because I saw an interview that Big 30 did before Big 30 was ever even signed to Bread Gang. And they asked him, were there any other artists that he liked, that he listened to, he bumped in the Memphis area? And the first thing he said was, "Yeah, you got Glock. I mean, you got Glock, you got Dolph." And he said it with a lot of, this was before Dolph was ever even taken out. He said it with a lot of excitement. And they was like, "Well, there are any more artists in South Memphis?" And he said, "Well, on the other side of South Memphis, you got Black Youngster, people like that." The young man didn't have any issues with Dolph and Key Glock. They were all in close proximity, because if you think about it, years ago, because South Memphis is all, they're all in close proximity. All of these people either went to school together. It ain't that many different places to hang out in. They were performing in little clubs together or something like that. So they all had a familiarity. That's why I can't understand why a demon, a devil, a evil person would step in and force these young men to choose when they ought to be able to coexist and get money. Because you're setting them up to die when you're forcing them to choose. Of course, they're going to choose money. South Memphis is a poor, impoverished area. I grew up in South Memphis, so if they come from nothing, they thinking about their families. They go, "Well, I choose my family. This person cool, but I got to choose feeding my family." And Gotti, you wrong for that. I keep referencing Gotti because Gotti is at the core of this stuff. Okay, in my opinion, because I truly do not believe that Dolph wanted any beef. I don't. I don't. I don't. And I know Gotti and them look at this stuff. Gotti is wrong. And I put that out there because at this point, the unthinkable has happened, and I'm not saying that he has had anything to do with it, but he needs to rethink his situation. He needs to rethink that, because you came up in Memphis, him and his brother. And when these young men are forced to choose, and they come from nothing, and they have to feed their families, you create unnecessary beef. And the reason I say Dolph was not at the core of this, even if he was putting stuff in songs, it was because of things that was happening in back rooms that made him put stuff in songs to tell about what was actually going on. It never should have gotten to the point where people were shooting at that boy and trying to take that boy down. It never should have got to that point. They had gone too far at that point. So with his artists, it seems like some people have assassinated whoever they are. This boy's body. Dolph was flat out assassinated. Even in death, they want to assassinate his character and assassinate anything that he has tried to, anything that he was putting together. You know, and something came to mind. I was thinking about one of my friends that called me yesterday. He said, you know, Tamara, you know, you think about, because you have a lot of these officers and agents and stuff. They have teams with their own YouTube, and they only, they do it because there's a lot of criminal stuff that go on now. Trying to change the narrative is not criminal. And I was talking to him yesterday. He said, you'd be surprised by who's behind some of these YouTube pages. Ain't nobody safe. You think that you can have a YouTube page and people not know who you are? He said you'd be surprised. But it leads them right to whoever their targets are, some of them, and people blindly follow. But hey, that's not neither here nor there. Okay? That's not even important, because hey, hey, I don't have anything to do with that. But I know that these young men, regardless to what people say, you know, it was a young lady, and she's so sweet. She said, you know, talk about, I think she had posted something about Daddy-O, and I think I did see on someone else's a YouTube page where, you know, people were kind of kind of intertwined it with CMG, and it would not be a problem, you know, because I don't know how long ago that was. I don't know what year and stuff that was. You know what I mean? Um, I can't, because people want me to comment on that. I can't comment on that because I don't know what the relationship was. And even if people are cordial, it does not mean they had anything to do with plotting the murder of a close friend. You know, just like Straight Drop was in some of those videos, people want to blame Key Glock, when the truth of the matter is Straight Drop was affiliated with Trulia, and Dolph had been affiliated with Trulia. But even still, if Straight Drop was up on the Key Glock, because they all went to school together, they all knew Straight Drop, all of them. If he was up under him, you don't have anything. You can't control a snake dude. People, I've had more knives in my back than anybody that say they ain't never been backstabbed telling a damn lie. Because it's always a snake lurking. Okay? And people say, well, people should have protected Dolph. Well, here's the thing. You know, sometimes you feel like you got your weapons and stuff. Somebody come at your person, you know that enemy. You can go ahead and eliminate that threat. But a lot of times when it's a snake is able to snake you because you don't necessarily know it's a snake. That's how you get snaked. A snake that you recognize can't bite you. And we've all been bit because we didn't recognize a snake. And so I can't be madder at them, these young men, because they all went to school together and stuff. Okay? I can't be madder at them than I am at the people that it looks like, you know, that played a part in this, the people who shot him and then got mad because they say, well, he stumbled into a store and started crying, started like a little bee, and asked them and said, help me, get me help. And then when he stumbled in there like a little bee, he collapsed. They got mad at the man for trying to live. They shot him. They wanted him to die. And he was able to get up bleeding and stumble into a store and asked for help and collapsed. And they even was in rooms, had they people in rooms trolling, talking about that he gonna stumble into a store begging for help like a little bee and collapse. They was mad because he had it in him to try and survive because he had children. And them motherfuckers, y'all think I'm gonna be mad at Keith Lock them and not them? Ooh, Lord forgive me. Sometimes some stuff come out. I can't. I want to see Key Glock go through the roof. And I'm talking about the people who ask me, well, why I'm not mad at him. He ain't had nothing to do with it. I'm mad at them bees that did that to Dolph and consistently plotted his demise, whoever they were. That's who I'm mad at, because they was dead wrong. They was insistent that this man was not going to be great, because that's all it was about. That's all it was about. And I don't expect for anybody else to share my sentiments, because I understand there's a lot of mental illness on this internet. This is how I feel. Okay. This is how I feel. You know, and like I said, even with people, I understand people have teams and they have to change the narrative. Do your job. It ain't nothing wrong with changing the narrative. It's not. It becomes something else, when you start getting into criminal stuff, and that's not criminal. You know, if these artists have an issue with, their characters and stuff being defamed or whatever, then that's something that they deal with their lawyers. But I don't think they care about that either. You know, do your job. You know, um, but I understand, and I want to see, these are African American men, and I'm a mother, and I want to see them win. That's why when people say, but Big 30 is with CMG, I see something in Big 30. I am a mom. I see the downward spiral of how things completely changed when that young man said, rest in peace. People would grin at you all day because a lot of people were showing him respect. And then a lot of bad things started happening to him. Snakes don't hiss no more. They call you bruh. They say, we got nothing but love for you. We're going to make this money together. That's what snakes do. And then you start having a lot of bad luck because you don't recognize that it's a snake. I'm just saying that anything. So, I wanted to get on here, and a Big Moochie Grape got an album that's coming out. Yeah, y'all know I love me some Big Moochie Grape, because I've been said a long time ago, he is a modern day Biggie. That young man can ride a beat. He can ride a beat. Okay. And so I always say, run him up. Go. It's not enough to just say, that song is hard, and you listen, help him out. I want to see Dolph's artists make it. That's what I want to see, you know. And the thing about it is, what I can't understand, because see, y'all already know, like with Snoop Bandz, this is how you know what you know. When Snoop Bandz still, he Snoop Bandz is really out there in the street too. And sometimes I'm sure these young men are starting to learn more and more. But it forced people to start looking at you. You saw when that bullying started to rise up. How dare he think he gonna say something? We'll drop him too. That is what it seemed that was in the atmosphere. And sometimes people, it seems like to me, he was smart, because whatever was on the inside of some of these people, it rose up, and people had the opportunity to see it was there. You know, because regardless to what, Dolph had the money to retaliate, but he could have paid anybody to do anything for him. Okay, he could have paid anybody to do anything for him. But the man has some type of regard and respect for life. You know, he didn't want his artists in that crossfire of people consistently retaliating. People see Key Glock been hard. You listen to some of these folks, they go, but folks weren't really, they must have not been really listening to Dolph like that, because Key Glock been out there. He was always with Dolph, but he had been out there. People have been loving his stuff. Okay. Now he's kind of on his own, and he's keeping Dolph's legacy going. And then people, well, how come he ain't carrying everybody on their back, on his back? They've been Um, they've been I want to say single artists, but it's another word. It's not single artists, solo artists. Dolph just had them doing more stuff together at the time, probably to get them all out there, but they've been solo artists. They doing their own thing. Jay Fizzle been doing his own thing. Jay Fizzle rocking. But because Key Glock is out there a little bit more, or he has a little bit more visibility, you have to understand these other young men, they getting their money. They just more, probably more street dudes. I refuse to put that on his back. I want to see the young brothers win. Okay, Moochie Grape can definitely be another Notorious B.I.G. I know that they're young. It's going to take some maturity. Dolph was like their umbrella. And I'm sure Dolph had Daddy-O. And I know Daddy-O has always been in the background. Daddy-O is a hardcore street dude, hard to the core. And his kind, almost like a gangster hardcore, they don't want no camera in their face. They always do everything behind the camera and behind the scenes. Dolph had that behind him. Daddy-O is the reason that Dolph was able to get to where he was, because he funded Dolph. He said Daddy-O taught him a whole lot. So in my opinion, that's why people, how come you're, because I don't think, I don't, I've heard his name has not come up. I saw the hurt in Daddy-O's face. I did. I pay close attention to people. If I thought that any of them had anything to do with this Dolph situation, I would not support them. I'm not that type of person. I roll with people until they wrong. And when they wrong, I don't roll with that. I wouldn't give a care what. If I thought that there was something there, if there was an ounce of something being there, I wouldn't roll. I would say, well, you know what? I don't know. I'm gonna sit back and watch. I'm not gonna defend them. I'm not gonna defame them. I'm just gonna sit back and watch. But there's nothing there. It all leads down one road. And I can't be harder on the people who's trying to pick up the pieces that I am the people that is the reason why all the pieces are shattered. Because these people who did this tore up some lives. And when I say something, it ain't because I've heard it on YouTube. It's because the right people know. Okay. But I want to see pre-artists. I want to see Dolph's artists do so good. I do. I want to see them do good. Key Glock is doing good. I believe Big Moochie Grape's album is getting ready to go through the roof. Snoop Bandz is like an original. Him and Paper Route Woo. Jay Fizzle, he got a song that's hard. I don't know the name of it, but I listens to it. I can't think of it. It's hard. These are young men that I want to see do good, because they are a product of, they've been out there, out here in these Memphis streets. And people are so evil. A lot of them have truly made it out, and they want to troll these young men. They want to assassinate their careers. They don't want people to pay attention to them. They're already trying to block them from being played. But, we just going to come against the devil in the name of Jesus. Okay. Even anybody that feel like they're going to be mad at me for having my own damn opinion. Okay. Because I'm a grown woman and I can do what I want. you know, um, and anybody else can do what they want. But I'm just pro pre-artist, because I'm very proud. I want to see those young men carry that on, because one of the reasons that Dolph was taken down was because of what he was building, and he was building it independently with these young men. They was jealous of how Dolph was bragging about how he was making these young men rich. All my artists got $1 million. All them other artists can't say that. Their money has to go through 3 or 4 hands before they get it. Then they take it and go blow it on a damn piece of damn jewelry. You know. So that's what I want to get on here and talk about. Am I gonna get on tonight? I don't know, because I got some things I got to do. Me and my investigators got to be out on some stuff. That's why I got on early. But yeah, I'm pro pre-artist. I love Key Glock. I see the sadness. I pray that God heals him. I hope he's put that cup down. Somebody got on my live and said, I think Key Glock be listening to your stuff, and that lady, she always sends a some love. Um, I can't think of her name right now. She said because he's drinking more water now. He's not drinking that lean like he was. And I don't know who she was. I can remember her name, and I'm not gonna say it, but I haven't seen her on in a minute. For her to say that, I don't know if she look at his Instagram or whatever. But anytime I could speak, and because I have children, okay, and no young African American men that I don't know about have done anything. Now these ones that's out here that's heinously just taking people out because they're taking money and putting bags on their heads, damn right they need to go ride. They need to go lay down. But not these ones that's trying to pick up the pieces and build something for their families. No. I understand how the streets of Memphis are. And we have hoods in everywhere in all 50 states, but I understand the streets of Memphis. And I know what these young boys have to go through. Okay. And so I want to see them win. That's why when them teams start trying, they don't even try to come in my room no more. Not much. They know it. We can't do nothing with that. So what we'll do is we'll pay some other people, or we'll do it. They come up with other strategies. It's all good. It's all good because one thing for sure, I don't take this personally. This is my opinion. This is my opinion. This is how I feel. And I can't understand why people want to try get mad when you feel differently than them, when they can't influence you to feel a certain way. You got me effed up. I'm a grown woman. See, that's when people start getting desperate, and when they can't get it like they want to, that's when they start trying to send them threats. But they know them threats gonna lead them folks right to them. So they become a little smarter. They still know who behind some of these pages. y'all y'all start praying about who y'all these folks and y'all who y'all these pop-up pages, and y'all don't see no faces and who y'all follow. Just ask God to help you out. All right, you guys. I want you guys to have, but I respect everybody's stuff. There are a lot of people that I look at, even if I don't necessarily agree with everything. I can respect their grind, their hustle, especially when they're not hurting other people. Um, because I promise you, I stay going looking at other people's pages, and I kind of binge on a lot of their stuff. Whether I believe it or not, I know how to chew the meat and spit out the bones. You know what I mean? I can respect a lot of people. I love to see women. I'm just like a pro woman. That's why when people send me emails about these sisters, I go, not I. Because one thing about me, I don't need nobody to send me no email about who nobody is, because I know how to find out who people are. That's what we do all day, every day. So, and I'm not taking no other sister down. That's not in my DNA. That's not how I was raised. It'll never happen. So you're gonna have to find another one. Okay. But I want you guys to have a really good day. Okay. Pray, ask God to go before you. Just support each other, even if you don't necessarily care for. We have to support each other. You know what I mean? Especially if a person is not doing anything to hurt anybody else. But even if you don't want to support them, you don't have to. We have to respect each other. I want y'all to have a good day. Okay, I got to get out in the field, but y'all be blessed.